What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of my sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble Preferred Blitzer. Best promotion they have right now. In the pinned comment, all you have to do, go click the link, open an account. They're going to give you free stock. But if you deposit a single dollar, I know you have a dollar. If you deposit it, they will give you even more free stock. You know, every year I can make a video like this. And EA has made it yet again easy for me to make this video. So I want to show you something here. And I want you to understand that, to me, the problem becomes twofold. Number one, EA does not listen to its community. Does not listen to the gamer. Does not respect the sport. And number two, EA does not think that we are aware of what's going on with its game, because they continue to market this game the same way. Now, I offer that EA is not a leader because I've seen so many people create content around this company that is motion capturing for EA. And they're showing you footage and they're showing you audibles and all these things that at face value are great. But to me, this is just something that EA will use in a trailer. Let me explain to you how EA does this. They're going to go and they're going to get animations. They're going to motion capture them. They're going to put them in the game. They're going to show you a trailer at the beginning of the year where you see a quarterback and a receiver appearing to have chemistry. You have close-ups of routes being ran or running backs getting the handoff, and they're going to sit here and they're trying to promote and sell to you a game that visually looks incredible. But as gamers, we understand that unless we have control over those players, unless those players are able to move uniquely and independently, then it's not going to be replicated on the on-field product. And that's been one of the biggest complaints we've had to EA Sports is, quite frankly, sure, the game looks great, but once it goes into motion and once we need control, we just don't have it looking as good as it could, and we just don't have control over the outcomes with any player. Now, that's allowed a lot of clips to be made where players go through each other, players have odd interactions, players get animations that they shouldn't because they're not tall enough or they're too tall for the animation. In fact, EA had a whole little comedic element of a player that should have been 5'11" but was actually 5 centimeters, and despite all this and the animations, he could go out and make tackles and interceptions, and they kind of laughed it off. But at its core, most gamers knew that's the problem with EA. There's just not enough quality animations. So when they go out now and they show you all of these things, what you should be asking yourself is, number one, why can we go back to Madden 25 and see the same technology then as we have today? 10 years. EA, I would offer, should be at the absolute pinnacle of football gaming. They should be doing things that other companies strive to get to, a point that they cannot meet. There should be no discussion about Access Football, Madden, and Maximum Football having animations, because to me, EA should be at the forefront of this. They should be way beyond what these companies are doing, and that's why when I see these things, I question where EA is getting its feedback from, because for everyone that sat there last week and looked at Maximum Football in a motion capture suit in a field and didn't understand that motion capture, like most technologies, has advanced very much to the point that you don't have these ping pong ball covered suits, you don't have such limited player movement, you don't have players' joints articulated so largely. But EA Sports is sitting here and showing us the direct opposite. Now, the reality is, for years, EA should be building upon a library of animations that give users the ultimate control. We've had excuses given to us, like we had to remove the referees. We needed that space. We needed those resources. But we know that the more animations they've added, like team celebrations, dances, pre-snap movements, that's less animations that can be added to actual gameplay that allow the offensive and defensive line to branch off and react, for players running through the line to be impacted by them. And those are things we've asked for years. So they're already showing us the wrong things. They're already showing us dated technology, and they're already proving to us that they're not taking steps to make the game better and be a leader in football gaming. Now, before anyone comes on and says, well, then why don't you keep that same energy when a game like Access or a game like Maximum says, we're adding 75 new animations, because in fairness, it should be the same thing. To that point, I would say, these games have had years to build their libraries too, but they don't have the same resources, they don't have the same budget, they don't have the same developers, and they don't have the NFL standard of trying to replicate special players. Replicating Lamar Jackson and replicating Jack Johnson, random quarterback on the Baltimore Birds, is not the same thing. And what we've asked from EA Sports is to give us unique players. Their response has been unique animations, but only in certain situations and only when triggered. That is not what gives players their true impact in the sport. EA should be setting the standard for all games to follow. We should not be sitting here and looking at the same technology that's created the same problems for decades on end being implemented into a game on a next-gen console. EA should be very much far beyond this. And these are things that honestly, as a gamer, should not get you excited. As I said, not only have they had this technology, they've actually been using this company for years. This company just doesn't have a TikTok, they have a YouTube page. So anyone that sat here and complained about how Madden plays, how you haven't had user control, how you can't branch out of animations when they start, when you're looking at them now and you're excited or you're rejuvenated or you think that this is going to be the change, I want you to understand that this is the same company they've been using for years, and you can go back and you can look at the track record of the game simply not getting better. Every year there's hype, but with that hype also comes promise. I want Madden to be the best game it can, but I know that it can't be in this current situation. There's a failure across all fronts. There's a failure to get the best technology. There's a failure to get the best designers. There's a failure to get the best developers, and that equates to not putting the best product in a box. When you have other games that are simply trying to build their library or expand upon it, they're still in that stage of it mattering. 75 new animations for a game like Access Football that we'll talk about later on this week, that matters. That's going into a library where you're going to have access to it. 100 new animations for a game like EA, where you haven't seen animations triggered that have been in the game for years, doesn't change because the programming behind it isn't there for you to see it. It's not just enough for it to be in the game. We have to be able to get it out of the game. And EA Sports has struggled with all of these animations to have them factor into gameplay when it comes to X's and O's. That's why I question when they're filming these minor details, are they filming them to make the game actually play better, or are they filming them to make the game look better? And when you're telling me that you're filming audibles in a motion capture, I know that you're simply trying to make the game look better. And making the game look better means making the game marketed better. And making the game marketed better means zoomed in trailers of things that are non-gameplay oriented, so that a fan that is not aware of how poor this product has been sees it, visually connects it with the sport, but then when they play it, realize it's nowhere near what it needs to be. EA needs to find a way to adapt, to become a leader in sports gaming. And a big part of that is getting rid of this massively outdated technology of motion capture studios implementing things in their game that they don't even have the full capacity to take advantage of. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching this video. And you know, just like those horrible animations in Madden, I will be back in the week